I'm sorry about last time. Uh, I shouldn't have been so hateful before the cameras rolled, but hey, we got at least that one annoying DVD out of the way. Sky Dancers is finally gone, so I guess we can both agree on that, because you were telling me it was leaving a bad taste in your mouth, so, yeah, hopefully these don't taste as bad. Oh, hey! Hey, everybody out there! Welcome again to another edition of Give It a Shot Mystery Box Edition. The box and I are mending fences right now, and I think we're gonna be okay. We've had some creative differences in the past, although I do believe after the last mystery box, we have a, I guess you'd call it a unsteady truce, but I think we're okay, right? I don't know what I'm expecting him to answer. He doesn't talk on camera. He's a little camera shy. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the business. So, here's what we got this time. Returning from the last episode, we have the undersea adventures of Captain Nemo the Coral Maze. Oh, I can't wait. We still have Castillo in Mission Mouse. Truly terrifying. One of the newer entries, Itty Bitty Heartbeats. Your guess is as good as mine, but it sounds like there's stuff in it. Otto B. Goods, Out of the Wilderness, because we might as well just rip off Cars completely. And I've just noticed that this is an Emmy-winning series. I doubt it. And today's new addition to the box is Hip Hop Shop. Dance like Brittany and Justin. Sure. If I can review Jam X Kids, I can do this. It can't be any worse than Bella Dancerella or whatever her name was. So, here's to hoping. So, you know the deal? Put the box down. Do my little dance. Oh, we're gonna have an adventure with Captain Nemo. Yay, I guess. Shit if I know or I care. I hope Brittany and Justin don't taste that bad. Because I'm not in the mood for seafood. Ugh. Look, I said I was sorry. It's just force of habit. Oh, what do you know? Oh, hello. Welcome again to Give It a Shot Mystery Box Edition. Don't mind the box. The box is fine. Still having a little bit of a creative difference, but everything's cool. Because today, the box brought forth Captain Nemo, or the undersea adventures of Captain Nemo, I should say. Where to begin with this? First off, it's not as bad as I thought. When I first saw this, I was thinking it was going to be Captain Fathom levels of bad, because apparently this is something that was produced for Captain Kangaroo. Captain Kangaroo was a children's show in the, I believe it started in the 1950s, went all the way, I believe, into the 1980s. I remember that much, because I even remember seeing episodes of it when I was a little child. But he was a children's show host, and he had various things in his program, and I, again, didn't really watch much of him. I'm more of a Mr. Rogers guy. because when it comes to adults running my children's programming, that's who I would rather have. So, one of the segments that Captain Kangaroo had was the Undersea Adventures of Captain Nemo. And at first I was thinking, okay, this is going to be different, and it is. These are very short episodes. In fact, I watched the first 5 episodes because they're only 5 minutes in length, and the first 30 seconds is the theme music and intro part. It's not anything too deep, pun intended. Anywho, it's cheap. It's from the 1970s, so I have to keep that in mind as I'm giving a review here. So, because of their short nature, they're only 4.5-minute episodes. Stories aren't going to be too engaging. They're going to be real quick. And so, everything I'm going to talk, this is just going to bleed into each other because there's just so much not happening. And it's a result of the budget that these animators were given. And that's what's going to make this a little bit of a slog. Because even though, like I said, there were 5 episodes, and total runtime, if you omit the intro to each of these cartoons, you're looking at roughly 22 minutes of actual animation, if that's what you want to call it. But I guess the overview of what this is. So there's a man by the name of Captain Nemo who is pretty stacked. I mean, he looks like a stud, straight up. He's very knowledgeable about the sea. I imagine he's a marine biologist of sorts. I don't think they actually said it anywhere in the video, but he has 2 children with him. I don't know if they're his, but he has 2 children, a boy and a girl, who are there essentially to be the audience, because basically this entire thing is educational.
Well, the tuna know their way around. As soon as the shoreline was back in its right place, they turned into the Mediterranean, right eye to the shore.
Left eye to the sea.
Well, what's for dinner?
It's not bad in terms of education, but it's not great. You get one little factoid and then they ride that thing throughout. I'll go through those here in a little bit, but you learn about the sea and things that happen there. There's an environmental message of sorts that's happening throughout the 5 that I watched.
What can we do, Mark?
Well, he doesn't seem to be breaking any law. If the tuna want to get caught out here, rather than going into the Mediterranean, I don't see what we can do.
Kind of reflective of the 1970s. So, let's just get into the stories, if that's what you want to call them. I think calling them vignettes would be better, because they're not really stories. I mean, yes, there's an intro, body, and conclusion of sorts, but it's just so quick that it doesn't really work. So the first one that I remember deals with tuna fish. And there's apparently a problem with their migration. Apparently they're not going a certain path, and because of that, fishermen in this one area just can't get them. And so they're tasked to go out and see what's going on with them. And so Captain Nemo sends out the boy, Robbie, to go out and check it out. And as soon as he's out there, he's already in trouble. Like, he is the most worthless child to help with any of this, which is going to be a running theme moving forward. Nemo's an asshole, to be just honest. But anyway, the boy notices that there's fake land, because apparently there was a fisherman who was just having tuna just come up onto his boat, and he's not breaking any laws because the tuna fish are just going up to the to the boat of their own volition. And it's to the educational piece of this one where apparently when tuna swim, one eye is to the sea and the other eye is to the shore.
Always keeping their left eye towards the open sea and their right eye towards the shore.
Tuna don't usually swim very deep, Chris.
Like, that's just how they swim. I don't know if that's verified, but for 1975, that was fact. And then he figures, oh, there was this fake canopy thing that was keeping the fish from going into the Mediterranean, so they didn't bother, and this dude was just catching them. Solves that problem. Like I said, there's no substance to any of this. Second episode had to deal with, I think it was the volcano? Yeah, like an underground volcano, and they get stuck in it, and it's forming an island. And they miraculously get out. The end. Another episode dealt with, they went into a coral maze, hence the title, and they're looking around, and the big fact of this one is that there are parrotfish in the coral, and they eat it, and apparently a parrotfish generates from all their eating of coral 4 tons of sand a year.
Part they spit out becomes sand. Look at the bottom. Each parrotfish chews up enough coral to spit out 4 tons of sand.
That's a lot of shit, but it's what they do. The last one that I remember, 4 out of 5 isn't bad because the shit, like I said, bleeds together so bad, is these magnesium deposits on the ground. Not at the ground, but on the I can't use my words now because look what Captain Nemo has done to me. It is the ocean floor. Thank you. For something that's so educational, I've become a lot dumber. Regardless, the kids are tasked to, go out with this vacuum and suck this stuff up. They get trapped. In fact, getting trapped is a common occurrence in this series, apparently. They get trapped in the coral reef, the kids get stuck in this little schooner, not like an underground little sub within the sub, and they get sucked back in through the vacuum up, because it looked like it could definitely suck them up.
What?
We had a jammed control. We couldn't get back to the ship. So Chris figured if we got stuck on the end of the vacuum, it would pull us in.
Yeah, this is not good. I guess for 1975, when you don't have internet and all you've got is Captain Kangaroo, I'm sure this stuff is riveting. But overall, this is a reflection of its time. The 1970s, in terms of animation, is very cheap. I would probably even venture to say that the kind of things that they're doing in the 1970s, because this was made in 1975, and there are 78 episodes of this, 78 5-minute episodes, and this is a quarter of them, and I wasn't about to go through all of them because I'd have never made it, because first of all, the animation. I can't rant too hard about the animation. Again, I was expecting Captain Fathom or Clyde Crash Cup, and thank God it wasn't that, because that's kind of horrifying. No, this is a notch above. It's a lot of stills, and you can tell what are the more well-used cells that they use, because like certain characters you can because the eyes and the mouth sections, they kind of move. Certain scientists that they have on screen, which that's a whole nother kettle of fish, another pun intended, that doesn't look good. The character, like, and because of its limited budget, the characters are either look depressed or fucking scared out of their skulls. There's no in between with any of these, other than Captain Nemo. He's just even keel. He doesn't really emote. But that's also what makes him a bit of an asshole.
If there's a new island in the making, we don't want it to catch us by surprise.
He just sends the children out to do this shit. He does nothing himself. Granted, he's the captain, but as a captain, you should realize that, you know, you have children that you are supervising. And again, don't know if they're your own children or what, but why aren't they in school? I mean, technically, yes, they are learning all the time by working with your irresponsible ass, but I don't think they need to be under the water that long, that often, because, I mean, that's all they do. They take orders. The characters themselves, like, something, as far as I can tell, is wrong with well, what's her name now? Chris. She's got something going on with her forehead. And then there are certain close-up shots they have, stock shots they have, where, yeah, there's like a big bulging forehead. There's other shots where there are questionable angles, how things don't look right. And there are some things... I mean, I can't really talk about the story because there's really not, so I'll just keep on harping on animation. But there are things that are done in this where out of context, yeah, no, they're a little awkward out of context. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Problems, Mark. It's tuna time in Tunisia.
I'll be famous as well as rich.
Faster, Mark.
We're in a jam, all right. Check the ship for damage.
Right.
We're in trouble, Mac.
Yeah, that's that's what I'm talking about. They're ooh boy. But like the children, man. Like I said, the children either look scared to death or pining for it. Like they just want to die. And that goes along into the next thing that I'd like to talk about. Their voice acting. Oh my god. That's like drinking chalk. That's liquefied. I don't know how that's even humanly possible. Rainbow sherbet. Fine. That's the thing I'm drinking today. It's not as bad as that shit from last episode. Oh, I hope you all enjoyed that one, because I was dying. Not that this review's any better. But, speaking of dying. But, the voice acting in this is not good. There's first of all, there's only 2 voice actors. The one who I thought was the original voice actor for Joy from the original Superbook turned out it wasn't. But she voices the 2 children, and then there's the other guy who I think created this. He voices Captain Nemo, and he also does bad voices for the other male adults. So it's kind of weird, especially when he tries to pull a Spanish speaking person who's, speaking English.
Nautilus, we have some seismographic information from an area 200 miles east of you.
It's a little insensitive, but in 1975, that was commonly accepted. I mean, when you only got 2 people, like, what kind of range are you going to get? Just like with the animation, there's only 5 animators on this. That's it, 5. And I mean, you know, most of the stuff is just they're stills. Like the only real animation going on is eyes blink and the lips move. Like there's very few shots that are even remotely dynamic where hands are moving towards something or pushing buttons. Like that's when you see like actual care put into this, because there is so much recycling, reusing assets. It's not funny, because at least, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, I have to give Dingo credit for this. At least when they animate and recycle that animation, it is usually there's slight differences. It's still not good, but there's slight differences, variation. It happens. This, there is none. I'm pretty sure I saw the exact same submarine shot 5 times. I saw all of them the same 3 shot, all 5 episodes. The worst offender, when they were trying to be dynamic, was in the volcano episode. When they got stuck in the spot where the volcano was bringing up an island. The ship was upside down. And, wow, yeah, no, they didn't really try. They're either completely upside down in their chair, you know, like hair's not going up or anything like this. They're just sitting there, like everything's fine. Or, like when Captain Nemo is talking on his video screen, like he's there and the video screen's upside down.
We're in trouble, Mac. We've turned Turtle right in the devil's mouth.
So what is he standing on? Like, what is he standing on? I looked at it and I'm like, no, this defies all logic. So it doesn't help anything at all. I admired that you tried a little something. But just flipping things upside down is akin to when there was an accident scene in a Mary-Kate and Ashley film and all they did was roll the screen. If I can find that, I will show it, but this is the equivalent, except this is a cartoon, and that's kind of acceptable. That was Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen live action. That's not. So the animation, like I said, 5 people. I'm trying to excuse it, but I can't. Oh. Actually, I take it back. It's like, if you remember Fun Dip, the pouches with the chalk stick that you would, lick and you could, pull stuff, suck the basically Kool-Aid mix off of the white stick. That's what this tastes like. That's what this shit tastes like. It's not very good. Just kind of like what I watched with Captain Nemo. Like, again, for its time, it's passable. People didn't put too much emphasis in animation back then. It's kind of sad, but it was the truth. I mean, they're just that sort of thing wasn't really a thought. So, budgets were minuscule, and you worked with what you had. And I mean, like I said, there must have been a crew of, like, say, 25 people on this thing, and it shows. It's not terrible. It's slightly educational. It gets a little awkward, especially with the voice acting. The animation isn't great, but it's just what it is. 2 shots. I mean, I could have had something way worse. Because I know in that box over there is way worse. So, I'm relatively unscathed. I probably could have only taken one shot, but yeah, relatively unscathed with this one. I could have been worse, but I guess the worst part about this was it all just kind of blends together because they're only 5-minute shorts, 4.5 really, and it doesn't really serve its purpose well. But that's all I got for this edition of Give It a Shot. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you didn't. I know the box didn't. So until next time, party people. Toodles.